Hey guys, we're here at GDC and we're talking to Gunslinger Studios, taking a look at Exiles of Embermark. You may remember it, we demoed it last year when it was kind of just prototype-ish form, but it's basically the kind of 1v1 battling game, I guess you could say, with lots of RPG stuff, you know, piled on top. And so taking a look at where it's at as of right now.
Cool. So last year we didn't have any of the systems implemented, so I'm going to show a lot of the depth of the game this year, as well as some of the combat, which we covered last year. So a big thing to notice here is there's mages in it. So we've got mages, warriors, and rogues. This is the first build that we've got where we've got mages, so I'm going to get all excited about it. I'm being partial to wizards myself. Here's my guy made of magics. As you'll see, the look we're going for is very similar to an MMO when you're developing your character. You can zoom in and check out all the cool hand-painted textures, check out all this different loot. He has 13 different slots on his body, so the way that you set your build and from a gear standpoint is super important to the game. And on top of that, we've implemented a tell system. You can see that I just moved from a red to a yellow robe. What that does is, for sophisticated players, that will tell you whether they're spec'd out for offense, magical offense, defense, etc. So for example, you see the red shoulder pads that are up there. If I change those over into something different, like these general shoulder pads, then you would know that I didn't necessarily have stat buffs on them. But if they were, for example, these Mystic Mage shoulders, and I saw that they were blue, I would see that they were spec'd out for defense. So there's a lot going on that is from a tell standpoint, because you don't know what moves your opponent's going to have when you go into combat. So to go further down the rabbit hole, because we've got lots of new stuff to show, if you make an analogy to a collectible card game, your loadout from a gear standpoint, coupled with your move set, is kind of like your deck. And the cool thing here that we've got as a new feature is that you can actually add and save loadouts for lots of different situations. So you got a loadout for PvP, you got a loadout for PvE, maybe you got one against the Frost Giants that you have to specifically have resistance against that. All sorts of stuff like that. So there's lots of different ways to build your guy. To that end, of course, you have talent trees, and every single time you level up, you get a talent point. There's then within each of our classes, there are specialties. In this case, Blood Mage, Elementalist, Warcaster, and you can mix and match talent points that you buy. They will increase stats, sometimes they'll give you an ability, they'll improve different parts of your character. But you make meaningful choices throughout, because you only get 50 points throughout your whole experience, and there's lots of choices. So then the last piece to your character is your ability set. So in here, I've got my Fireball, I got some Blizzard, I got a Spell Tome, but you don't just have 4 choices a la Pokemon, you have a ton of choices. And so you can change your loadout to fit your playstyle. In this case, I'm going to throw Sun Portal in instead of the Cold Grasp, because I'm going to go a little fiery for this demo. And then let's go super down the rabbit hole for the folks that really want to be completionist crazy people, which I'm partial to. You've got all your stats, you've got your strength, dexterity, speed, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is meaningful in the game. We keep track of everything you ever do in the game. From a stat standpoint, in terms of all your activities. The person you play the most becomes your rival. That means nothing in the meta, it's just cool. And then your house, which I'll talk about, we talked a little bit last year, but I can show you the system this year. And then, of course, is your motivation set. The motivation set is all the choices, things you fight, quests you complete, choose your own adventure choices you make, affect your motivation set. And you can compare your motivation set against all of Embermark, the entire community. You compare it against different houses, which is our sort of guild system, which I'll talk to you about in a second. So there's a ton of character depth to the way, especially for a mobile RPG, to this thing. But the combat is quite simple. So I'm going to jump into the arena, and because it's the worst thing you can possibly do in a demo, we're going to do a live PvP batch with Mike over there, who will be playing a warrior who... Are you the wizard? Who, ironically, is called the Wizard. Yeah, it's not cool. He actually took my username from Skype. Okay, so when you're hanging out and you're a caged war dog getting ready to go out into the arena, you can actually quickly change your loadout, quickly change your ability set if you're nervous. The way the quick match works is not unlike collectible card games. You got normal quick match, which will just match you with somebody like of your power level.
Yeah.
Ranked, of course, is ranked.
Yeah.
You can see your rank, which is 25 in the middle here, and it goes down from 25 down to legend.
Okay.
And then you get to end up in a leaderboard
Wow.
at legend. I'm actually going to search for somebody. Because here's some cool new features. You can search for anybody in the entire game.
Nice.
By house, by rank, by level, by class.
Okay.
I'm going to just search for everybody because it's only the developers that are in this right now.
If you want to find a very specific type of person, you can do that.
Because there's a new feature that we didn't talk about last year. One is, and that's called Spar. But let me find Mike, who is ridiculously the wizard, which I'm mad about.
You don't sound bitter at all.
While I'm finding this, shout out to our community because they were, I think, excited about seeing wizards in this thing.
Yeah.
Not Mike masquerading as one. When you find an opponent, then you will see what house they're in. That's the banner. You can see your history forever against them.
Okay.
It matters not at all in the game. It's just to piss the guy that's on the lower end of that off.
That's so cool, yeah.
You can see their level and all that stuff. Soon to be coming, you'll also see their loadout.
Okay.
If I challenge him, we'll play a real PvP match.
Yeah.
But if I spar him, I'll play his loadout as a bot.
Oh, interesting.
So you can actually challenge anybody in the entire game.
Yeah.
Like you can practice against the dude that's at the very top of the leaderboards, but not for real.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So
Okay.
because Mike is online, I have the challenge option. I'm going to challenge him.
Okay.
He will, over on his device, get a challenge from me. He gets to look at it, see who it is. He gets the same information I was just looking at, and then decide if he wants to take it.
Yeah.
So if he decides to take it, then we will launch the battle. So we'll go into battle now, and this is the closest analogy is Pokemon.
Yeah.
We've designed this to be one-hand thumb control,
Right.
And it's simultaneous turn-based. So you can see I'm running out of time over on the right. I can tell a cool couple things given that tell system I described before, so that I don't run out of time. I'm just going to do a classic fireball.
Yeah.
We both made a decision at the same time. Now we've got some cool animations and stuff in there. He just got hit by the fireball, but you can see he actually up here, he did an effect over time. He armored up.
Okay.
And my guess now, from his tells and what he's doing, is if he's armoring up, I bet he's going to come at me with the Skull Crush, which does more damage the more armor you have. So there's tons of combinations in this game. I'm going to do a Spell Tome, which is going to double my intelligence, which will up my power for a couple of rounds.
Okay.
And take him down, 139 damage. We're about neck and neck in terms of things that are going down.
Okay.
Now there's a couple new features here. I can click and see what the effects over time are on him.
Yeah.
I can click on his guy and see what his abilities he's used against me.
Okay.
There's one that's still a mystery because he hasn't used it yet.
Yeah.
And I can figure out what I want to do next.
Okay.
So before I run out of time, I'm going to use Blizzard this time to try to slow him down.
Okay.
If I got it in on time, I might just run out of time.
I think you.
I may
got
have.
hosed.
Nope, I got it in.
There you go.
So the Blizzard comes. You can see the effects over time go up on him.
Cool. Yeah.
It didn't do a lot of damage, right?
Okay.
Although I do have Sword on the ropes. He's going into the yellow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come back now with the Sun Portal.
Okay.
That's going to both damage him and cause an effect. So what we're doing is we're playing cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Is I want to make sure that I'm getting as many effects on him that increase the abilities of the other abilities I have.
Yeah.
I'm at 189. He's probably not going to be able to finish me. I may. Because I've increased my chance for criticals too.
Okay.
Be able to take him down if I can crit. I didn't. He's got 37 damage.
Oh my
I've got
gosh.
105 left.
This is a close battle.
So now I'm gonna, because I'll almost certainly hit with this in your face, Mike D. If I got initiative and you're dead. This demo worked out exactly as I had. All right. So I taught him.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things, even though I just got some shoulder pads, those are placeholder icons, that you always get a drop. Win or lose, you always get a drop. So you always move forward in the game,
Cool.
even
Yeah.
if you lose.
Yeah.
I got an apt double wrap, which is a rare item and some XP. So that's PvP combat. Let me show you the world now because it's changed a ton.
Yeah.
So the world, I showed you a piece of concept art last year.
right.
Now we've got a completely streaming from the web, tile-based map, which is basically like a Google map, right? And as I zoom in on different zones, because there are 18 different zones in Embermark, I get all these cool little treaty details, right? In terms of cities and dungeons and all sorts of different
You
things.
guys are out of your mind.
Let's have
In a great way.
we're excitedly ambitious.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this from a real-time basis, though, is check out Sarsalis. This is a big, huge, badass city in the middle of Vanaseer, which is one of our zones.
Yeah,
if we want to, we can blow that city up in the middle of a season, replace it with a crater, put a dragon in it, and have everybody go fight it whenever we like. So we can change this map as much as we want. I'll show you the way that then the quests and Choose Your Own Adventure stuff happens. So here's Wildwoods. This is the starting zone.
Okay.
And you can see lots of little mysterious stuff happening.
Yeah.
At different levels of zoom, different things that you're allowed to do become available. If you see a mountain or a ruin, those will have quests.
Okay.
If I see a branching path right here, that's a choose your own adventure item.
Yeah.
And if I see a chest, it's treasure.
Okay.
If I want to go fight something, I would go into a quest, check it out. Oh, look, I'm going to fight an elite ogre. You get a little bit of lore. I see what the rewards are going to be, and I accept that. And this time, though, I will be in a different environment, and instead of fighting a person like when I just pwned Mike D, I'm fighting an ogre, right?
Okay.
Last year, I think you saw our 2D NPCs. Now we've got fully 3D.
Awesome.
They've got lots of different strengths and weaknesses, which you'll need to change your loadout and fiddle around with your build to go by.
Okay.
I'm going to embrace cowardice and flee, so I can move on into the systems. But that's essentially how PvE works.
Okay.
And then if I go into a choose your own adventure item, I would get a choice, and that choice will affect my motivations. And I'll bring that full circle here in a second.
Okay.
If I hit the treasure, I'm going to get either a piece of loot or a drop or something awesome.
Okay.
And the cool thing we can do from a community standpoint is it doesn't have to be visible. We could, for example, decide that the old witch's hut up here, we're going to put an invisible one up there on Friday night at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And seed it in the community, and everybody can go looking for it.
Reward people to kind of poke around and stuff.
Totally. And so we can do those from a time basis, and we can also do it on a per player basis. So we can reward you, a player, for doing something with a treat like that. So system-wise, we talked about houses last time. Now we're online here. You choose one of the houses based on your taste. Jared, which one appeals to you the most?
Getting me to make a decision is so difficult. Let's go Majesty.
There you go.
I like orange.
Our guy Nazuja is going to like that choice. What you find out when you get a little bit of lore about Majesty, and then you get tenure bonuses. The longer you stay in a house, the cooler the bonuses become.
Okay.
This will all be visual later.
Right.
We join House Majesty, and then I get a feed every day of the stuff that's going on in my house. Maybe Jared won the last tournament. Kyle found the legendary staff of so-and-so. Tim stepped on a banana. Whatever it is, it keeps you up to date. And then because the houses compete against each other every season, which is a month, for the leaderboard. But it's not just killers that own the leaderboard. PvP dominance as well as PvE grinding and the things that you do in the game. It all contributes. Everybody contributes to the house success.
Cool.
And you get rewarded with cool rewards at the end of the season based on your house. On top of that, you've got a house standing. So you individually are within a house, you get standing, and you get a title within each month.
Okay.
So you might go from the Paragon to the Mendicant over the course of one season to the next.
Okay.
And so and then you can do co-op events, both PvE and PvP, all sorts of crazy stuff. And then finally, you can see that now the camp is wide open. This is a fully functional camp. Notices are where you get all your news. Tavern is where you do asynchronous quests that your minions go out and do for you. They do your bidding while the phone's in your pocket. And then we also have crafting. You can craft any kind of item that you would like in any slot. Let's say I need a new boot, I need a new glove. If I've got the crafting materials, I can do so. I can forge recipes that I've picked up along the way that I've earned. And then, of course, I can salvage my junk. So the loot goes that I will get lots of loot.
Nice.
And I will end up having stuff that I just don't want, that don't belong on loadouts. But we are for the collectors out there. There's also the giant list of stuff that's out there because we have tens of thousands of pieces of loot in the game. When you get it, even if you don't keep it, we know that you collected it. So for the folks wanting to complete the entire collection, we'll know and reward you.
Oh, that's so great.
So that's where Exiles is at this point. You can also do multiple characters. You can switch them. And from a event standpoint, we will be doing events you can do every day, arena runs and PvP tower runs, and we'll be doing tournaments and bracket games and 2-man enter, 1-man leaves types of things on a live basis throughout every season that we
You're making sure there's always a reason to fire this up when you pull your phone out of your pocket.
Totally, and trying to do that 1 minute chunks at a time.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so that was a lot of information and such an ambitious idea, but it looks like you're actually coming through on everything you wanted to do, which is very commendable. And so you are getting close to a soft launch phase.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So we'll be doing a closed test, which I encourage people to sign up on the forums and send me a PM, the wizard, to get on the list for invitation. For the closed testing. That'll be via TestLite in about 6 weeks. And then we'll be going into a soft launch geo beta, hopefully sometime this summer.
Very cool. All right, well, that's Exiles of Embermark. and we're really excited for this one, so we'll be keeping an eye on it, and thanks for the demo.
Thank you.